Hey, good morning, and welcome back to my Rug Hook and Talk show. Okay, well, it's morning here. Not sure when you're watching it, but it's morning here still. So yeah, those packages that we ordered from Heavens to Betsy are soon to arrive. Mine arrived today. It's a Saturday, and I started to open it, and then I said, let me just wait and see, and I'll open it for the show in a little bit. So I'm just starting to drink my cup of tea, and so yes, today I was full of packages and full of surprises, and grateful for each and every one of them. And yes, so with that, I hope everybody is enjoying the weekend, or whatever day you're watching this. I keep forgetting we're out in YouTube land, so it could be any time of the year. It could be 2 weeks after I've actually filmed this. So whatever you're doing, just sit, enjoy, take some time to rug hook. For those of you who are just tuning into my show, maybe catching this out of sequence, my name is Annette, and I've been a rug hooker for over 20 years, and realized that even though I hook alone, and I enjoy hooking alone, absolutely, most of us do hook alone the majority of the time, I started to realize there were groups out there, especially after going on Rug Hooking Daily. Everybody in every little town kind of has their own little group, but I do not, and then I realized a lot of other people don't. So I decided to just make a little rug hook and talk show, so that you can kind of stay on task with your rug hooking. If you're like me, I kind of have a million things to do. I am a mom of 4. They're all over 17. So I do have some free time now, but we get caught up and we do a lot of things for a lot of other people. So you know what? It's really important, and I don't say this in a selfish way, but it really is important to be balanced in your life. And so in order for you to give back, you have to have something to give. So you need to have that balance where you're full, and you've had a good day, or you've had a good week. You need that once in a while. We can't promise. Things happen and creep up into our lives that kind of zap us of our energy and are stressful, and that's a part of life. We all have them. But take a little time each day, even if it's 10 minutes. Just think, I'm gonna go put on Annette's talk show, and sit. And when that show's over, I would have probably have hooked, maybe 10, 20, 15 minutes, and that's good, because that's what gets the rug finished. Yeah, every little loop is important. Background, tedious as it may be, or doing whatever outlining, just use it as a meditative time, as a time to just enjoy that you're actually sitting there and nobody is needing of you for that 15, 20 minutes, or even a half hour if you're lucky, and that it's your time to spend doing your hooking. It's very important for me, and I think it's important for a lot of people out there who are stressed, that don't realize there is a portion of your day that belongs to you, as opposed to giving it away to 8 hours to your employer, another 8 to your family, and what's left at the end of the day is not much. So you need to regroup and balance and have fun. Fun is good. Good fun. So there you go. That's my motto for the day, is take a little time each day to have something fun or enjoyable for yourself. It is not selfish. It is necessary. So there you go. Speaking of fun and things like that, I've been getting some packages, and yes, I just I want to share that I did get a book in today, and let's take a look at that. Okay, so this is rag work. It's got a furnace just kicked on. I'll be speaking a little louder, folks. Okay, so this is rag work, and very inexpensive. I don't know, again, $2, $3, something like that, $4. I try to keep all my book purchases under 10, unless it's just a fantabulous book. Then yes, I absolutely will spend it, and I must say I go back and peruse my books over and over again. So you know what, even if you spend $25 on a book, that brings you a lot of enjoyment. It's a friend. It has now become a friend, and I have many friends that are sitting there waiting for me to visit them often, so it's all good. Yeah, so this is rag work. And it is a fun rug hooking book. It's a little out of the traditional, which is so much fun. I love looking at rugs that use different materials, or just have a different take on a pattern or design or a way to use colors. That's so enjoyable. I'm going to show you something really. Here, we'll do this one. This one's a child's scalloped rug. I don't know why it's a child's rug. I think it's beautiful for anybody. And if you have a modern style house, or just a contemporary, or just a little hallway that needs some sprucing up, look at those colors. That is so much fun. So just so you know, that's the type of book this is. And it's called Ragwork. And again, I got it off of Amazon. It's by Lizzie Reeks. And I'm trying to see where she is. I believe it says she might be from Canada. I don't know. Let's see. Doesn't say. Okay. Lizzie Reeks is a talented textile craft artist. Through her degree course in the design of carpets and floor coverings, she became fascinated with the traditional techniques of rag rug making. And then it goes on to there. It doesn't say where she's from. But I guess you could look it up on the internet and find out. So there you go. There is another book that's out there. I haven't purchased it. It's a little bit on the expensive side, so I'm kind of hoping that maybe at some point in the years to come, as do most books, you can kind of get them a little cheaper. And the name of the author is J.B. Miles. I believe her name is June B. Miles. M-Y-L-E-S, and she wrote a book called If Wool Could Talk. And I don't know much about the book except that it's her way of sharing her life story or her journey so far through her rugs. And we were talking about that just the other day, and she found that the name If Wool Could Talk was just so appropriate. And yes, she's right. That is a really good name for a book. If you're speaking out your journey through life with your rugs, then it's, you know, you leave behind, besides an heirloom. I thought that was cool. I've got to do a pictorial. I got to tell you, I've really got to work on a pictorial, because you will leave behind absolute, you know, tangible evidence that you were here. So I think that is just really neat. You know, you can hook your dog into it, or your little garden, or just, you know, stick figures of your kids. It doesn't matter. That you put it down and that it's there and you made it, and it's a record somewhat of what life was like during that time is amazing. And we've learned a lot through rugs from the past, absolutely. And I'm always fascinated with the history of the rug making, but I'm getting more interested in the history of the woman who made them. So that's something I'm going to be reading more. So if you get a chance to get that book I showed you, History of the Midwest Rugs, there's a lot of history on how women hooked rugs and why, and, you know, all that fun stuff. So that's just something else to add to this great craft of rug hooking, so we can perpetuate it. And as you know, I've been speaking of kind of not buying anything new, and I did place my order for our remnants. I'm going to get a chance to look at those in a little while. And I did that because I wanted, for those people, there isn't an opportunity to get recycled fabric from thrift stores. They don't live near thrift stores, they don't have thrift stores, or their thrift stores do not have a lot of woolen product and items to get scarves, skirts, whatever. They're just not available. And that's always, you know, a possibility for some people, that it's not there and they can't get their hands on it. So how do you hook a wool rug, and why do you use wool? Well, wool, number one, is very, very durable. Number two, besides it being iron strong for wear, it is very soil resistant. You know, some people have asked me, well, why can't you use other product? Why can't you use cotton? I mean, absolutely, you could use whatever you want. It's going to wear a certain way. For a wall hanging, absolutely, I'd hook with cotton. I'd cut up and shred anything I would get my hands on. Flannel, anything. There's so many great things. Polar fleece. The other day I was at Michael's and picked up some polar fleece. by Deborah Norville. If you remember her, she's a news anchor here in the United States and on CNN, so maybe the whole world knows Deborah Norville, but she loves to knit, and she came up with a line of, knitting products and wool and that sort of thing. But this one happened to be, and I caught my eye because it was printed, but it was it was thin, flat strips that look like fabric strips when you cut them from the wool. So that caught my eye, and as I'm looking at it, I'm saying, wow, this would make a great rug for a kid's room. And it was, I don't know, $7 for the skein, and I think it had 110 yards in it. So you're actually getting probably close to twice the amount of yarn you would in wool yarn. And let's keep in mind here, it's for a children's room. So you know what, it might not last the test of time, but you know what, I don't think you can kill polar fleece anyway. So if you hook that on, say, a linen, you could wash that rug. I would tend to think you could wash it. So it's something I'm going to explore. It was all cut in one big skein, kind of like yarn, but flat like a fabric strip. So I've never seen anything quite like it. It was cut polar fleece, and that might make a fun little rug just for your, you get out of bed if you have the hardwood floors and your kid wants to step on something nice and fluffy, and you want to make a little mat. My gosh, that little mat might only cost you maybe 20 bucks. So, and again, if it's all up to what you want to pay and afford. Like I said, as I go into the new year of 2015, I'm going to go back to my frugal ways. I was a very frugal hooker. Some of you might be thinking, well, wow, Annette's been hooking rugs for over 20 years and she had one Moshimer hook. What's up with that? I happen to have, like I said, 3 Moshimer hooks, and they were very inexpensive. I think back then, I mean, I can't remember, between $5 and $8 for each hook. So yes, I bought a whole bunch. I was excited. I was very zealous for the craft, and I went ahead and obviously I had to, have all my little hooks in a row, so to speak, and I ended up with the Moshimer coarse hook, and since then she's come out with the primitive. I'll show you that one in a minute. That one just came in. Do you see the short shank on that? Let me see if I can compare it. Okay, so we have my regular coarse one. This is saying it's primitive. I'm a little confused with that because my coarse hook, which is her original bigger hook, is actually bigger than her primitive. So, you know what? That being said, it's all preference. This is my all-time favorite. You can still get it, $9. You can't go wrong. This is my absolute favorite. Okay, so you would say, why does Annette only have one hook? Why is she just now starting out with different hooks? Well, you know what? I wanted to see if there was something better out there. Again, if you have the money to spend on a tool that makes your craft easier on your hand or more enjoyable, then you know what? Even if you have to save up a little to get that special hook, because this Hartman is $38, and way back in the day, I would have been and so I stuck with my $2 crochet hook and hooked away with that until I received my Moshimer hook, and I gravitated up to that and stayed there because it was much easier to handle. So my point is, it's all preference, but I like just being true to this craft, and not saying you shouldn't buy new wool, and you should do whatever you want. This is just me, but if you want to experience a real extra dynamic, so to speak, to the craft, going into that thrift store and trying to find a skirt or a pair of pants, and you find some great other things. I can't explain how exciting and thrilling it is to walk out of there like I did on one of my shows for spending $36. I must have gotten, I can't even tell you how heavy that was. My arm was breaking. So that being said, it had to be over 5 pounds of wool, which is probably close to over 5 yards of wool. So 5 yards for $36 is a very good deal. That's what I like. That's just me. I like to go in there, lay it all out. And then what happens with that is there's another dynamic, and I was discussing this with Marilyn actually, and you know, there was another creative process that comes into play when you have a certain limited amount of materials to work with. Your brain has to get very creative. Your juices have to flow for that design to come in, or how am I going to incorporate, you know, purple, red, and blue into a rug. You know, most of us have more than those colors, but you know what I'm saying. It's the thrill, it's the hunt, it's the creativity that encompasses rug hooking as we know it today. And I tend to think that the women years ago, when they were rug hooking, excuse me, I'm just going to get rid of my tea bag here. When they were rug hooking out of necessity to, you know, cover that drafty spot or add a little something warm to the edge of their bed because it was cold, they didn't have all that beautiful indoor heating that we do. And, you know, they might have had an old pair of pants to work with, and it might have just been 2 or 3 colors, and how they made a border in one color and then the background in another, and that main design might have been just a heart or their horse or a chicken or the family pet, you know, whatever it was. They had to sit and think. There was a moment where they had to have a spark of creativity to put that together. And to me, that is an absolute joy to have the opportunity to be able to do that. And, you know, with a lot of stuff today, there is a lack of creativity because there's a lot of mass-produced items out there, and we've lost it in some ways, but the art community is coming back big and strong. And this is a craft kind of like quilting where you actually have a functional item and a work of art. And I love that. And it's art because you had to be creative. And I think anything where you had to be creative becomes a work of art. Whether it's a textile art or a fiber art, it's an art. So it's an art, it's an heirloom, it's a functional item. It's amazing. Rug hooking is just so wonderful. So, you know, grab your hook and try to hook for 15 minutes a day at least. And you'll see how that 15 minutes sometimes turns into a half an hour, and it's all good. It's all good. So, you know what? Before I chat anymore, and we don't do any hooking, I'm going to get over here and open up this bag of wool that has come in today and just kind of share with what's going on. Got my flannel shirt on today, as you notice. You've never seen me probably in a print. But it's getting cold in the basement, starting to get a little chilly. And so flannel it is. So there you go. Flannel is the best. It's warm, it's cozy, and you know what? You might want to hook a rug with flannel strips for your kids' room. Why not? It would be fun. You know, you don't want to get so caught up that everything has to be made to last forever, or, you know, an heirloom, because that's not always going to happen. And hey, after we're gone, guess what? We're not going to know what happens to our rug. So just sit and enjoy the hooking and enjoy thinking up where you're going to put the next rug. And hey, a pretty flannel rug for your kids' room or a polar fleece rug, that's a cool idea. So there you go. Okay, so I've got, wow, this is a lot of wool. Okay, and this is from our Heavens to Betsy. I'm sure you're all going to get a little pretty card like that. I'm not special, so there you go. And look at this. How cool is that little picture of, yeah, Heavens to Betsy. She's got a cool little business card. So there you go. And it does say your new wool, let me just read this. Your new wool comes to you unwashed. We suggest washing your new wool in the washing machine and on a warm setting, and drying it in the dryer on a regular setting. So there you go. I think most of us know that. We wash our wool, we felt it, full it, whatever you want to call it. And so here we go. I'm just going to come over here really quick to show you what is going on. Let's see if I can move that around. Okay, so we've got some really beautiful colors here. I'm just going to lay them right on my rug. Wow, look at this. This is so pretty. This is like an oatmeal gray. I'm going to go through them real quick so that you guys can just see what I got, and maybe you've got some of the same. This is beautiful. Okay, so the object of buying from here, like I said, is just to give those women an opportunity to know for $32, you know, $38 with some shipping, $39, This is beautiful. It's got a lovely hand. So for those of you who did buy this, this is a real pretty color, by the way. And this could be over dyed. So that's a great thing. Any of these light colors can be over dyed. You know, I've done it very rarely over dye. I try to use everything as is because, again, you know, dyeing is money and time. And so, you know, but absolutely, I'm going to be honest, I love dyeing. Dyeing is just like as fun could be. Okay, this is like a purple heathery herringbone or something. It's like a bluish purpley. Wow, it is beautiful. And look at that, a red plaid. Oh my gosh, and it's thick. So heavens to Betsy, you have sent us a beautiful supply of wool. You know, look at this. I'm trying to get it on the, there we go. This is beautiful, beautiful wool. So heavens to Betsy, you've done well. And I'm endorsing it. And for the price, you know what? This is very good. We don't have too much time left. I'm going to try to go through it. That's a pretty pastel plaid. So this is kind of cool because you know what? You can use all the colors at once as one strip, or you can cut just the strip you want. So you've gotten like multicolors in this to use. And that's a very cool thing. So here we go. I'm just going to show them like this. Look at that beautiful plaid. And here's like a butternutty. Oh my gosh, they're just so beautiful. And the hand of them, meaning the texture or the feel of them, is very, very rich and full for rug hooking. You will not be disappointed with these little pieces. And here's two more. And this is a beautiful one with some different colors. And here we have, again, and these, I'm just going to open them up. Some of them are some really great sizes. So look at that, ladies and gentlemen. You are getting some really nice wool. And this is double, so you can see that, okay? And these are all going upstairs to get felted and fulled and into the wash and in the dryer. And there you go. You'll have beautiful wool to work with. And you know what? Like I said, we try to keep it frugal. And there's some more in here. Again, little strips and stuff. So there you go. Wow. That's all I'm going to say. That was amazing. Okay. I've got 6 minutes to do some hooking here. And that's where we're at. Okay. So I just want to say I got a lot of packages today, and I'm grateful for each and every one of them. And a friend sent me some really nice stuff, and she sent me some hand spun yarns that were beautiful. And I just got to show you one. I wasn't going to add to this, but I just have to because it's some beautiful stuff. In this little package that my friend had sent me is this silky scarfy thing, and it's just beautiful, and I can't wait to hook with that because I've heard of hooking with it, and you know, it just, I haven't come across that. But she also hand spun some wool, and if you could look at it, it is so beautiful. It has all these little different colors. So again, you know what, you can hook all kinds of things into your rugs, and you come out with amazing and unique results. And that's all there is to it. It's just a beautiful little space. Oop, here we go, sliding around. Okay, so back to some hooking. So that's it. That's. I had a very good morning opening up all my little packages and my little gifts. And you know what I'm learning? The simpler, the better for rug hooking. You know, we can get caught up and hearing about all the things that we need to get for it, and you should have this and you should have that. You know what, ladies? Start out, and gentlemen, start out early. I mean early. Well, you could start out early in the morning with your hooking. You start out slow with just your hook, and like I said, it does not need to be an expensive hook. And again, I'm not putting down anybody's hook, absolutely not, because you can't. What I like and what somebody else doesn't like is going to be. But this hook is so inexpensive. I mean, it's really, you don't need to. So what I did discover the other day while I was at Michael's is right next to where I got my art light, because it's in the knitting section over there, because I guess, you know, that's why you need an art light for your close-up handiwork and embroidery and that sort of thing. So right over there was this little section where there's these frames. The embroidery hoops are hooked for hooking, you know, your embroidery and that sort of thing, doing your needlepoint. There was a little section where there were these little PVC pipes that it's like a portable frame, I'm imagining is the idea of it. And, hold on. Had to get a cup of that in. A little sip of that. And so you put them together. They fit, has little corner pieces, and you fit this together. And it has little side clamps, because they're assuming you're going to be working on a very thin, you know, the embroidery cloth. But I thought that's a great portable frame. It was $14. And you could use the clamps, you know, the big heavy clamps that I was using with the rubber, and you can round those PVC things out with the rubber that I had showed you, glue that on or rubber band it on or something, and you've got a very cheap, inexpensive frame. Okay, so we've got 2 minutes. I'm going to hook for a minute or two, and then we're going to sign off. So really quick, remember I kept saying my camera shuts down after 29 minutes, and so I found out why, because in order to sell the camera as a camera and not a video camera, the manufacturers had to only allow 29 minutes and 59 seconds of recording time, and then it shuts down and you have to hit the restart button and it'll do it again. And why did they do that? Because something with the tax, 5% tax on it, and it would then be considered a video camera. So now I know why I shut down. I have probably charged that battery more than it needed to be, and thinking that was the problem, and it wasn't. So now I know my videos, unless they're in 2 parts like I've done sometimes, will only be about yeah, about a half an hour. Okay, so that being said, I'm just doing a little hooking. I did a little hooking before I started the show, so I did get some in, but this episode is coming to an end, so keep hooking away, or watch another one of my videos to just add a little hooking time in, or put on a good, put on some classical music, listen to another video of somebody else. It's all good. It's all good. Whatever keeps you at your frame and hooking away, that's what it's all about. So I just want to say thank you to my friend for sending me some really little goodie box of yarn and all kinds of fun stuff in there. You can't smell my basement, obviously, because we're in YouTube land, but I have this great incense burning, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So do all these fun things for your moment of hooking, and it could be simple, and it could just be 10 minutes at the frame, but at least you're going to hook. So until we meet again, stay well and happy hooking.